Hey, Scott and Ivor, it's Thanksgiving week. Well, what are you thankful for?
Jake Lloyd Bacon. It's pretty obvious. I'd say I'm thankful for gravy.
No, I mean like something bigger.
Oh, sorry. The turkey.
No, something like meaningful, like, I don't know, something in wrestling or the way that you feel or maybe the listeners of the show.
Oh, okay. I am thankful that Nick Hogan is not my Uber driver.
News of the week, Thanksgiving, and more today on Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey, Scott and Ivor.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
I almost missed our intro here on the little stream deck because I was cleaning my glasses and I couldn't see nothing.
Oh, well, good thing you caught it in time.
Yeah, I tell you what I'm not thankful for is my crappy eyesight.
No, none of us are.
It is, of course, Thanksgiving week here on the Palskis program, and we want to thank each and every one of you tuning in live via the super exclusive patron-only live stream. Looking at you, Mikey. Old Hackensack. And of course, we must start this program as we do every program and acknowledge her current PWP World Champion, Alice Raider, a.k.a. Invasion, a.k.a. Evasion. If you would like to challenge Alice for that PWP World Championship, well, you got to become a championship level Palski before our first episode of December. For the final championship Palski Battle Royal of the year.
Time is ticking. Hurry up.
Yeah, this was it's a long run because November had 5 weeks, I think, for her, right? Our show comes out. Oh no, never mind. Comes out on Tuesdays, not Wednesdays. Well, listen. It's still a good run.
And look, and still, if you're like, oh, I'd like to challenge, I don't know, maybe financially it's a thing, or you're just intimidated and afraid of Alice to challenge her, you could say to a loved one or to someone who, you know, that you work with in the office, and they're like, I got you as a Secret Santa, but I don't know what to fucking get you. Tell them you can get Patreon as a sign up. Like, sign me up for Patreon. I'd like to challenge Alice Raider. I'd like to be champion. I'd like to choose a match for a watch along. I'd like to have my name in the lights. It can be a gift. You can insist to others that they do this for you when you maybe don't want to do it for yourself.
And you can also get a discount of Patreon if you buy in bulk. If you want to just be for a year and sign up for a year, you get like a month and a half free.
Yeah, just think of it like Costco.
Just we are if there is any better analogy for you and I, it is that of being a big jar of mayonnaise, the two of us.
We are a Kirkland signature podcast.
How's it going, Scott?
It's kind of middle of the road right now, so that's all right. How about for you?
Same. Let's say same.
Let's say same.
Let's say same. Everybody say same.
Say same.
I know there's definitely a few news stories that I've seen people post in the Discord that I'm happy to chat about.
I don't know if I have all those, but we'll see what I got. I did a little quick and dirty today, so.
That's fine. Quick and Dirty is actually the subtitle of this program.
That's right. Well, speaking of quick and dirty, we got some babies that got made.
Oh, not got quick. In 9 months. That's a pretty long gestation period.
Yeah, but we don't know about the making of. That could have been quick and dirty. These wrestlers got to hit the road. You know, they can't always just hang around and be there and be good parents. They got to go, look, I just need this real quick. If you want me to stay faithful. Okay, gotta go. Gotta catch a flight. Bye. You know?
Right.
As is the life of a wrestler. So Brian Cage and Melissa Santos welcome the birth of a baby boy.
Oh, a little baby machine.
Oh no, they already put a bunch of like bad gear on it.
Yep. Yeah, they put a Halloween Terminator outfit on him already.
That baby gets its shit in already.
He's a babinator.
Cage wrote on social media, pumping out babies like a effing machine and glad to be back into newborn fatherhood. Actually, Melissa Santos was the real machine this time. Now it's time to go to streets of Cage Rage tomorrow in my old stomping grounds of Ontario, California at AEW Like a Dragon Street Fight. So in the announcement of his child
Baby.
and showing a photo, he promotes a match.
Called the Like a Dragon something or other.
This was another sponsored match. This was a
okay.
It's a game. I think it's a spin-off from the Yakuza games.
Oh yes, I have one of those that I got on like the PlayStation Network, like Game of the Month.
Sure.
And I haven't. I've read that it's really good, and I like to look it up, and it's sort of like an RPG set in that world.
Yeah, so I think it's called Like a Dragon Gaiden, or that's part of the Street Fight name. So Like a Dragon is for sure part of it, but I've never played it. I watched the Street Fight.
That's the one I have.
Jesus
Like a Dragon
Christ.
is the one that I have. Yeah.
I hope the game is better, and I hope while they do it, they also don't cripple Paul White like it looked like they did in the Street Fight.
Oh no.
So yeah, he's got a baby and that match, everybody. Go check out that match. If time you can think nice thoughts about the baby, but go check out his match. I think that baby's gonna look back and go, really? That's what you did?
Do you think that baby's gonna just be enormous? You think it's just gonna be like a little baby walking around like this?
Well, have you seen his wife, Melissa Santos? She used to be the ring announcer for
I know that
Lucha
name.
Underground.
Yeah. Let me look her up real
She's
quick.
a very petite lady.
Oh, it's one of those things where.
So I'm hoping like the kid has like gigantic long arms, but then just a small body.
You said Melissa Santos? Is that what you said her first name
Yes.
was? Melissa Santos Wrestling.
And then also put 2 scale so you can see. Like someone puts a dollar bill next to her.
She does look familiar. I still don't. Yeah.
Did you watch much Lucha Underground?
I saw like the first season of it. Yeah.
So you've seen her.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen her.
It's nothing significant where you're like, she was a major character in this and that, but it's like, oh yeah, you saw her. But she's a tiny lady.
Well, I hope for her sake, that the baby got more of her genetics. I googled Cage and Santos and just see their pictures, and you know what? It's weird when you see them. Like, I think he's bigger in my mind. Don't get me wrong; he's huge in mass. But I guess in my mind, he's taller than he is, too.
He's not very tall. I believe
no,
I'm
he's
taller
not very
than him.
tall. Yeah, because like when I see a photo.
We did an On Your Mark thing with him standing next to him. I think Shane and him are probably the same height.
He's just, because like, even you see like, I know I'm doing the worst thing where I'm just showing a camera on my phone. But when you see a picture like this, it's like, yeah, okay, he's big in mass, but he's not that much bigger than her. It's not like.
He's got the spiky hair or the mohawk that adds a little bit of height, but she's probably also rocking some heels and that red carpet thing. But yeah, he is a maybe average, a little bit above average height for a male.
Probably.
I don't know what it is. Whenever I hear like, oh, average height for males, like disgusting. I don't care. I'm tall. Fuck them.
Like, I'm a tall person. I don't need your averages.
This is my attribute. Okay, this is what I got. I can't lift a milk carton without losing breath and fainting, but I'm tall.
So, did we have like a game with all the wrestling babies that we talked about once? That we were supposed to be playing? I don't remember. I thought we talked about. Oh no, our game was it was dark. Our game was with all the wrestling marriages that occurred.
Oh
in like 2021, where it was like who was gonna last the least amount of time.
Yeah, if we made like an equivalent of a Deadpool, right? But we're not
exactly. Yes, but for marriages,
betting on death, like wrestling marriages.
Yes,
and specifically like 2 wrestlers together, because there's way too many wrestling marriages don't work. We know that there's sometimes roster split ups or people work for another company. At some point, it's just that's the odds. It's gonna happen.
And people who aren't in ring performers count. Like this one counts because she's an announcer. Renee and Moxley, that counts as well because she's in the industry.
Yes.
But what about the babies? Should we start a pool now on who signs NXT first? Then we'll just have to check back in 18 years.
Or developmental deals.
developmental
Well,
deals.
I mean, technically, Brody Lee Jr. did get it.
I mean, yeah, but he wasn't a baby in the past few years the way that like everybody's having babies. There's so many little wrestling babies.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
I mean, can you even attempt to name all the wrestling babies that have occurred recently? Carmella and Graves.
That's what I'm about to announce right now.
Oh, great! Let's do that one, and then we'll try to think of the rest of them.
WWE's Carmella and Corey Graves welcome birth of a baby boy.
So many babies.
She was had labor of 60 hours.
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot. They revealed in an Instagram post that their son, Dmitry Paul Polinsky, was born after 60 hours of labor. And there's, I have feelings about this. They have a photo they put on Instagram, 60 hours of giving birth. And Carmella said, wait, before we take the photo, I'm putting makeup on.
I commented on that as well. I was like, 60 hours in a full face of makeup. She really is a sports entertainer.
That bums me out. And whatever works for the ladies and they want to do and they want to put out there. But you don't need makeup for everything. You're beautiful after giving birth. You're beautiful doing all that. Like if people are going to judge you for that, they're awful,
Yeah, it's a lot.
And, she had revealed back in October 2022 that she had gone through 2 pregnancy losses. She suffered those miscarriages and had gone through a deep depression. And this just seems like everything came up Millhouse, that it's now they've got their child and they're happy. They got married in April of 2022. And this seems like hopefully their marriage is not the first to go in this pool that we're talking about.
I don't think it is. I think when they got married, I think we talked about I think they're one of the long ones because they both seem the right brand of crazy for one another.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Sometimes it seems like the one might be a little bit too crazy for the other, or
like a Miz and Maurice that love the spotlight, and I'm sure he puts on makeup all the time too. They are competing and had that mutual crazy, right? Like they're peas in a pod crazy.
100%. Perfect.
Graves and Carmella certainly like the fashion together, like they're peas and pod in that. But I think probably musically, or they have a few things that just totally grind against one another. It's like,
sure.
Oh, but I think that, what are you listening to? Like, I fucking love this grunge punk band. Like, no, it's too harsh.
But I do think that they're like the compatible sort of different where it's like, like I honestly, of all the ones that shocked me the most, it's still to this day, Brian and Bree. I really did not. I was like, I just don't see this.
Yet it still goes on.
I think Brian, they're part of the baby clan.
The baby clan?
Yeah, of all the babies we're talking about. I guess they're not part of it. The babies are part of it.
Oh, okay.
Their second, because they had their second kid, right?
I was worried that when you call something clan nowadays, it's just not, it's worrisome.
No, it's that video game that everybody plays in their mobile phones. The Clash of Clans. Clash of Baby Clans.
Baby Clan?
Baby Clan. Anyways, lost my train of thought. But yeah, they're I don't know. I guess she seems like a real weirdo. And I guess Brian is just.
So you're saying Brie Bell is a real weirdo?
But I think Brian has exposed that he is also super weird. I thought Brian was like sort of like a too like hip, like a kind of an old hipster. But at the end of the day, I think that he's also just kind of a loon, but in a great way.
Yeah. There's a few people that we've mentioned that it's like they're the fun kind and that would sooner be enjoyable to hang out with. And some of the others, not so much.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, they're all wrestlers. They're all just weirdo, carny people.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
This is an industry of fucking weirdos.
Fucking weirdos and terrible, terrible people. Check out our Discord, everybody. Up next, New Japan Pro Wrestling announces Kevin Kelly's departure. So Kevin Kelly was with the company for a long period of time. Their main announcer, he will not be calling Wrestle Kingdom 18 as originally planned. In a statement on their website, New Japan announced Monday that Kelly will not call Wrestle Kingdom 18 and New Year Dash in January, originally planned to be his swan song as the English play-by-play voice of the company due to family commitments. He's got to babysit that Carmella baby.
There it is. I actually just assumed it because they found out he wasn't related to Kelly.
Nope.
They were like, wait, you're not this. I thought this was a nepotism hire.
What would he be to her?
Step brother, not half brother.
Uh-huh.
Same father, different mother.
Boy, that father's very busy throughout the years.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
statement reads, "Thank you for supporting New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kevin Kelly, who has been the English voice of New Japan broadcast since King of Pro Wrestling 2015, has departed New Japan Pro Wrestling to pursue outside opportunities. Kevin was originally planned to join the English broadcast of Wrestle Kingdom 18 on January 4th, but will be unable to attend due to family commitments. New Japan Pro Wrestling joins fans in their gratitude for the work Kevin has done to grow the English-speaking audience for New Japan Pro Wrestling and for countless memorable calls over the years. We wish Kevin the very best in his future." So this is a really big opening for an English-speaking commentator.
I mean, listen, if only there was a commentator that we knew who had, a lot of experience and could just slide in there really well. He's okay with changing his name if you need. You could drop a syllable here and there. I think maybe John Quasto might need to step up to this.
Uh-oh.
Don't you think? I think he'd
do
be
you
great
know the current playing field? Because there's a certain Mark Warzeka who's back working for the company as well.
Oh, see, I didn't realize he did commentary for them.
Yeah.
I thought he did like other reportery stuff for them, like
He did, but
voiceovers and that kind of stuff.
Warzeka's journey is fascinating because he had made, like, out of just love for the product at one point,
Right.
he just made commentary videos.
Right. That I remembered. Yeah.
And that ended up getting him hired to do some commentary. And he did a couple of shows. And Jericho and Don Callis were total dickheads on Twitter.
Who would have thought?
And saying, like, who's this fucking guy? Who's this guy? It's like, the guy that works at the company that you're both working at. Like, why are you shitting on him? And then there's been a lot of stuff internally amongst New Japan, and I don't want to speak out of school for that for Mark, but he wasn't working with him for a period of time, but now he's back and doing some of the dojo stuff, like doing commentary for those, but he's working with Rocky Romero. Rocky's the color guy, I don't think that's a spot for him.
No.
But it's and then certainly John LaQuasta would be a good one too, but there's
so we got two people in the Palski universe who could step up for this.
So here's hoping that somebody that we get a new voice, right? Like we get a new different voice amongst all the people, because with all the shows, all the things we have, WWE's now finally spreading it out a little bit more.
Right. Sure.
Amongst their people. But AEW, you're getting a fucking shit ton of Excalibur.
Yep. And what feels like a perpetual 4-man booth, because there's always some guest. There's always some additional person.
Right.
But
well,
good on you. Good on you and your future endeavors, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, and you being a stepbrother to Kelly? Still can't wrap my head around that
half.
one.
I'm going to go half.
Weird.
I'm going half. I said half. That's better.
So what's half mean?
You share one parent. Like my sister, like me and every one of my siblings. I'm technically an only child, yet I have 5 siblings.
God, this is so confusing for someone who has such a fucking small family.
They're all half.
We don't deal with anybody. Like there was no.
So both my mother and my father had children. My dad had 1 kid. My mom had 2 kids before meeting each other.
So your dad had a butt baby.
Yep, he had a butt baby. My sister, I'm sure she'll love to know that she's a butt baby on our program. Sorry, Seal. So butt baby Celia, all right, and then my mom had regular vagina babies, I guess is what we're doing. And Craig and Melissa, and then my parents met and had me. So with each of my siblings, I share a single parent.
Okay.
And then after That marriage ended up to my mom and dad. My dad went off and had 2 more kids with another woman. So I
you're
have
the
2
Dudleys.
more. No, they're all adopted. Aren't
The Dudleys
they?
are. No, I don't think so.
Oh, is their thing that they're all half? They have the same dad? I thought that they were all adopted. I thought like the mama Dudley like was an orphanage where she was just taking in kids.
That's a good one. Maybe someone in the chat knows, but I recall like, Bubba and Devon saying like 2 brothers from different mothers. So I guess I don't remember the origins if there was one dad Dudley. You'd think it'd be Big Dick Dudley.
Right.
But I don't know.
I feel like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I thought that the lore, the Dudley lore was
could be
that it was
I don't
that
remember.
like a crazy woman was taking in children. And she was Mama Dudley.
Okay.
And they were that's my recollection, but I've made shit up for years in my mind that I thought was reality that it's not reality. So who the fuck knows? Mike Lucas in the chat says, Step are sharing one parent, half are sharing one parent if you were born after. That's so wrong. And I'm so concerned, Mike. Step are simply non-blood related siblings. The Brady bunch are step siblings. No 3 of those kids share the same biological parents with the other 3. Those are all step siblings are non-related. You're not related to your step siblings.
Well, wait,
for example,
the dad had like his former wife. Those 3 kids are with that one lady.
Yes, they're all just siblings, regular, normal, full-blood siblings. And then with the girls, those are their step siblings. Those 3 girls are each one of those brothers' step sisters.
But Alice is a butt baby.
Alice is, of course, a butt baby, as we've grown to learn.
Right.
Yeah, so your definition, Mike, is wrong. You're wrong. I love you, but you're wrong.
Mike maybe also has a small family. He's like, this is confusing.
Right. Yes. For example, Kane and the Undertaker are half brothers.
Right. And we really don't know about the moms.
No, we don't know about the moms.
That is weird. Why has that gone on in the lore and we just go, yeah, Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Also, by the way, what did the women look like that was his offspring?
Brian Cage.
Oh shit. But wait, we've learned that he's average height. He's not exceptionally tall.
Okay, wait. So I know we're juggling a lot here, but I looked up the history of the Dudley brothers.
Okay, so
Wikipedia.
was I at all right, or am I completely wrong?
Well, let's see. The teaming of Lomonico and Hughes was born from ECW's Dudley family. Oh, so they're using people's real names for a second here. So I think they're talking about Bubba and Devon.
Bubba and Devon.
That's their real stupid names. So a team of comedic fan favorites that consist of many illegitimate children of the mythical traveling salesman, Big Daddy Dudley.
Okay.
Bubba Ray Dudley at the time was a fat, stuttering hillbilly who was entertaining the fans by dancing and wrestling, and several of his half brothers included Little Spike Dudley.
All right.
There's just so much description of like, yeah, this and this.
Right. Yeah. Trying to get to the meat of it.
So I guess, yeah, there was a traveling salesman, but it doesn't describe the mom or an orphanage. It doesn't.
Right.
So far, what I'm reading doesn't go into any of that. And then immediately goes into like, then they fought in a 4-way against the gangsters.
Sure,
and
of course.
This happened
Yeah.
and this happened.
I mean, not for nothing, but of all of the like lore and stories that they spun off in wrestling culture, like for comic books and other TV shows, like the Dudley family is such a, like that's a sitcom. You know,
Yeah.
like there's so
80s
much
sitcom.
to mine. Oh, 100%. There's so much to mine there.
Yeah, you'd think that that would have been an animated show on the WWE network. Came WWE and the Dudleys.
I mean, as long as they play the Dudley music every time one of them comes on screen, I'm fucking set.
Well, we have more departures. We have the Bunny has been removed from the AEW roster page, and they have agreed to part ways. So just as she's DLC for Fight Forever, God darn it, the Bunny is on her way out the door.
She's on her way out the door, yet into your console memory.
Yeah, you can't get rid of her. Once she's in it, you can't delete it.
Well, she fights forever. It's literally right there in the fucking title.
Right. So she last wrestled for AEW on the September 8th Rampage episode, losing in a trios match. And now looks like she's going to be a free agent out in the world. So I don't know if this means the Butcher will be heading that way soon.
Right.
Or in the Blade, if they're both going to go. But, you know, the Blade is her husband.
I really like that team. I like the three of them together. I like her the least out of the three of them, but she's not bad at what she does. She's just, I think, poorly directed. I think she's one of those people who could benefit from like the NXT machine, but just don't push her to the point where she's overproduced. Like she needs a little bit of guidance, I feel.
Yeah.
But I love that team. I think they got a great look. I like their style, and they feel like a tag team. The way that they work, the way that they look. I don't know. I feel like no matter where they go, as long as they have some decent guidance and some good booking and people care about them, they'll do well.
They definitely got the vibe of, yeah, there's a married couple and then that's their friend and they all have chemistry with one another.
Yeah.
And you can't teach that. So
no,
hopefully they can harness it.
Speaking of more of our baby clan, it's like the Viking Raiders, where it's like, whether or not you like them as characters or whatever, like they work. Like those three people traveling together, working together as a unit, it works. You don't have to create the chemistry or force anything. They are just who they are.
I haven't been keeping up, but do you not have to force anything with Sarah Logan? Is it there?
I mean, it's okay. I understand your point, but I'm talking more about the unit than the individual.
Yeah, I get it. She's there.
No, I mean, she's authentically fucking weird. She is authentically whatever the fuck they are. Whether or not it's
two guys looking to fight and then the ones at a Ren Fair shopping.
Listen, somebody needs to do the shopping. Somebody needs to clean all that leather.
Oh man, you just said the woman needs to be cleaning and shopping.
Oh, don't at me, bro. Thank God no one listens to this.
Except for Sarah Logan.
I like her.
Well, that's one of us. That's not all. Kenny King is granted his release from Impact Wrestling. He had joined the promotion last year, and now he asked for his release, and the company said, all right, you can go. So he was part of the Honor No More stable, and then he had a couple of significant matches, and I don't know. I feel like when you are asking for your release, he's probably got something lined up.
Or he at least has an idea. If it's not lined up, it's like, this is what my plan is going to be. This is what I'm going to attempt to make happen.
Do you think he was like, oh no, I am not telling anybody I work for TNA?
It's 100% that. It's like, wait, we're doing what? We're going back to what? Oh, you know what? I think I'd like my release. Unrelated. There's nothing to do with anything that's happening. I think I'd like my release, please.
That's a little embarrassing. Do you know, as a former Chippendale dancer, I am not saying I work for TNA. I have standards.
I lost my cable here under the desk. I don't have the reach. I'm trying to do this.
That's Deadpool word is.
And stay on mic. Okay, I got it. I did it. All right, we did it, kids. We did it.
That was awkward.
Yeah, this is a lot. There's a lot going on.
Still a lot going on.
Yeah, it's caught. This is a whole ordeal. Okay, anyways.
So yeah, Kenny King is loose.
Kenny King. I feel like at one point he was like a really big deal. He was like, oh, this person's going to be then, something big one day. I think everybody was sort of invested. And then I feel like I just never heard from him either. He just kind of got stuck in the Impact zone. And I don't mean that in the zone that is called the Impact zone. I mean like in the zone of being an Impact.
I've always liked him. He's charismatic. He's fun in the ring. I mean, he was back on Tough Enough back in the day. Like, there's always been interesting things going on. But as far as a performer goes, he's never had that breakthrough moment. Like, he's good, but he's never been great as someone on the mic or a outlandish character or even what I feel like who he is to a 10. So it just hasn't ever happened. And he's been in some groups here and there where we go like, he's good in this group, but the group fizzles out, something changes.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's really hard to pinpoint whatever it could be, or if he's just happy to be doing it and things are okay. I don't know.
If it could be one of those things where it's like the money was right to just keep him not hungry, if that makes sense. You know, like, well, listen, this is what I like to. It's sort of like when people, I can't remember who it was.
Zack Ryder.
Somebody, it was some NXT guy who was just like, yeah, I don't really care about going up to the main. Like, I just like that I wrestle here in Florida. Like, I get paid fine. I don't need much more than this. And it was like, this is totally fine for me. Might have been Gargano, in which case they should have listened to him. But I mean,
there is totally that. As much as like I just joked about Zack Ryder, at a certain point when you're working for WWE and you're getting a steady paycheck, and then there's going to be some bumps here and there from like, oh, I did get to wrestle on a pay-per-view, or some merch money came in, or you're traveling, you're hanging out with your friends, you're getting fed. Like, it's all right. Like, that can be fine if you're going like, I'm comfortable doing this thing. I don't want to politic. I don't want to try and do all this other shit. Like, my life is pretty good right now, and I'm just sailing through, or I'm saving up for a house, or I'm doing this. Like, I'm just keeping it steady.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And you know, there's something to be said about like, we put so much emphasis in any sort of art form on like celebrity and star power, and like, you know, you're a writer, like, oh, don't you want that, like, that Oscar for writing or you know, if don't you want to be WWE world champion? Where it's like, no, some people just want to work, and they just want to do the thing that they do, and they want to work, and not everybody needs that thing, that whatever that, like, you know, manufactured version of success is beyond where you are. That validation, yeah, where it's like, no, like, actually, yeah, I like just working for TNA. It's easy. It's not low stress. I show up, I wrestle decent matches, and I get paid, and who cares? My
goal was to wrestle on television and have a career.
Right, exactly.
Anything else is great. Like, anything else that comes for that is great, but I like who I work with. It's fun to do this. I help people out. Anybody who's an agent or a coach or any of that stuff, it's that kind of, I've got the fulfillment I want.
Right.
That other stuff would be great, but not everybody can be that. Not everybody can be the Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock or the top people. Sometimes it's, they're busy doing their thing, so I'm here to help out.
As comedy nerds, you and I like to bring things back to comedy. I remember working with Brian Stack and hearing him talk about work. Because I asked him, I was bold enough to
so like, jealous.
I was like, so do you just never have a day off? Like, are you? And he's just like, yeah. He's like, I'm just, there's something booked, you know, every day. And he's like, he can walk through the supermarket and maybe someone will be like, what do I know you from? And he'll be like, I don't know, everything. I don't know. But like, it's not, he lives just like a super comfortable, easy life where, you know, I don't think he cares. He doesn't want to be a big movie star. I don't think don't get me wrong. I'm sure if he was like, hey, I want to co-star in something with fucking Kevin Hart, I'm sure he would jump at the opportunity. Right. But he's not on the phone with his agent stressing out about like, why aren't I a bigger star? It's like, yeah, you could just be working all the fucking time and do great work and get in writers' rooms where it's like, oh, for the next 3 months, I'm going to do this for a little while. And I'm
worked at Conan for 10 years. He's working at Colbert for however many years that's going to be. I saw him at an improv comedy festival.
Okay.
At IO West, backstage. And so I was doing a show with Dan Backetall.
Yes.
And
fucking love that guy.
Dan had left to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And then in the time that he was gone, Brian Stack walked by.
Okay.
And I love Brian Stack. I love him so much. Yeah. And he sees me look at him as he's walking by. It's a small hallway, and he just goes, hey. And I go,
cute.
I don't make a word.
Right, of course.
But I want to go like, oh, Brian Stack, you know, I'm a big fan. And nothing comes out correct. And then he's just going to his spot. And then he goes the wrong way and ends up coming back.
Perfect.
And just walks by again. Doesn't go like, oh, went the wrong way. Doesn't have any need to explain anything.
Right.
And I go, say something. And nothing comes out. And then Dan shows up right at that moment right after he's gone. And I go,
Right.
hey, Brian Stack was just walking by. He goes, oh, yeah, Brian. Oh, that's fucking cool. He's a great guy. And I'm like, oh, he could have possibly introduced me. So I could have functioned as a human being.
I had one moment like that too with Matt Walsh of UCB, where I ran into him once in public, and I just did that thing where I didn't want to bother him, but it was like just the two of us. And so I was like, hey, just want to let you know, big fan, fucking love this. Like been watching this for, since I was young. Fantastic. And then like coincidentally, like 2 weeks later was on set with a friend, right, who knew him, and he was doing a small little bit part in some, some YouTube sketch for Comedy Central or some, I think it was called like Quick Hits or some shit like that. I don't know whatever they call it, something blend or whatever. And he walks over, and I'm waiting for like the nice introduction because I'm standing there so that I can be like, oh, I actually ran into you the other day in Target. And it just never happened. Oh. And I was just like, dude, say my name to him. Say hi. Oh yeah, have you met? He's in this thing as well.
Yeah,
I had an even smaller part than he did, and he was the cameo. Like, yeah. Anyways, listen, the lesson here is that not everybody needs to be a big, giant champion and doesn't need to be on WrestleMania to have the admiration of nerds like Scott and I.
That's right. That's right. We talked about some people leaving. Now we can talk about some people signing. Kota Ibushi officially signs with AEW. So he was in the Like a Dragon street fight. And
someone posted that clip of him riding that bicycle, and then somebody in the chat
tap with the pipe. Fucking horrible.
And somebody in the thing was like, oh, it's from the game. It's something that happens in the game. I'm like, okay, I get it, but do it. Like,
I bet in the game they fucking hit somebody with a pipe really hard.
Right. Yeah. It was an unfortunate clip. And I'm sure like we saw the two moments out of context. I'm sure the rest of the match he was great in it.
No.
But it's unfortunate. No.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw the whole thing.
I've seen like every time I've seen him in AEW, he came back one time like to do these flurries of punches on guys, not making any contact whatsoever. I've seen Kota in the past and he was pretty cool. AEW, he's lousy. But good for him. He's getting paid.
Yeah. Get that con money.
Yep. Get that con money. He's not the only one. Will Ospreay signs a multi-year AEW contract at Full Gear. They trotted him out there, and he's now officially with AEW. Because he got a tattoo after all. So
there was it last week? I know since we only record every other week, every now and then some fun things fall through the cracks on our show, and I want to try to remember some of them and bring them up when I can. And I remember there was an article, and I don't know if it was something that Tony said or somebody, and it was like, oh, AEW hasn't signed anyone new in a month or two, whatever and it was supposed
there was on
to
our
be
Discord. I know that was posted,
and it was supposed to be a like, this is crazy that it's been this long, and it's like, no, that's not a good thing.
Month. It was a month.
Oh, a month. Try to fucking use the people you have better. Stop bringing in people. Your roster's too fucking big, and this is WWE in 2018 all over again.
Yeah, it is overinflated, and you're bringing in big names that you're wanting to feature all the time. Sure, you got trios titles and stuff, but man, it is just
what are all these people gonna do? Who are they all gonna face? Because guess what? They're not going to face the champion because there's only fucking the one. I mean, I know there's more than the one, but you get it.
Well, also, you want to jump to that story now?
Yes, let's jump to it. We're almost out of time here, so we got to take a hotline call. So
all right. Well, we definitely do got to touch on a couple of these. So let's
okay. Yeah,
we'll go do some rapid fire here.
Yeah, let's do some speed round news.
AEW announces new title in Continental Classic competitors. So a new title.
Continental Classic. Are they having a continental champion instead of an intercontinental champion?
Well, we're doing this quick and dirty, so we're going to figure out here. It was revealed during Saturday's Full Gear pay-per-view that the winner of the Continental Classic will become the first ever AEW Continental Champion. Additionally, Eddie Kingston is putting his Ring of Honor World Championship and New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Championship on the line in each of his tournament matches, meaning the Continental Classic winner will hold 3 titles and be the first ever AEW Triple Crown champion. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
So
yeah. There's no way there is more than 2 people making the creative decisions in this company. How does Continental Champion get to television? You have like one of the most prestigious, one could argue, it's been tarnished out the years, of course, but like the workhorse title that every wrestling fan knows in your competition that you're always trying to tell us you're different than, you're the alternative, you're better than, you're, in the Intercontinental Championship, and you're just going to say, this is our new Continental Champion? How many, and here's my other question, how many times do Taz, JR, when he comes back, whoever, how many times do these people say Intercontinental Champion on television?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, fucking constantly.
And let's keep in mind that they have another championship that came about in, I'm looking at the date here, June 8th, 2022, the AEW All Atlantic Championship, which then changed into the AEW International Championship. So you have the International Championship and the Continental Championship.
I mean, I will say this.
They're you say they hired too many people. They're also hiring too many titles.
Is it toys? Do they just want to sell more toys? Are they like, hey, listen, people like championships?
They're backed up. They haven't even made so many people on their roster yet.
They haven't even finished that TNT title yet. It's still completely fucking empty.
Jazz was going like, fucking slow down. We still have some Cody Rhodeses we're making.
This is rough. It's really hard to defend this decision of all the decisions. You know what? I will say signing these names you've said is less offensive than this, because at least you go,
it makes sense. You want to, if you're looking long term and you're going like, these contracts are expiring, so we're going to be losing 10 people and we're gathering these 2, sure. If we want to look at it logistically and think that there is something smart at play here, but we still have seen the booking and we know what's going on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the history dictates at this point, but yes.
If you're gonna hire some big names because you don't want them to go away, this is the open window. Okay, makes sense. Not your money. Sure, fuck it. But
I mean,
the titles, for fuck's sake.
And also, like, you're still a new company. I know it's been a few years now, but you're still a new company, and I still feel like your main title doesn't feel special to me yet. It still feels kind of new and shiny. And, like, I want to feel the prestige there. Why are you laughing at that?
I misheard you.
What did you think I said?
I think I said new and shiny. I'm like, oh, because what? The belt's made in China, so it feels like a cheap piece of shit?
Listen. Sometimes it's in your mind, okay, Scott and Ivor?
Yeah, that's why I laughed and said I misheard you.
Mike Lucas says, at this point, if every match in AEW isn't a championship match, fans should get their money back.
You really should. Every show's battle of the fucking belts.
Night of championships. I don't know. I forgot what I was saying there, but you get it.
Shiny.
Bad. Oh, yes, that's what I was getting at. The belts don't feel like they mean anything, the ones they currently have. So adding a new one, all you're doing is you're pulling away from the prestige of the ones that you're trying to build right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be too complicated to fucking keep track of the winners and losers of all this shit. Speaking of losers, Nick Hogan arrested for DUI in Florida. Are you shocked? Can you believe it?
No, I thought there was the way that you said that. I thought there was going to be a comment to follow. Yeah, I'm not shocked, and I can believe it. Yes,
I am a little bit shocked because I would think what he had been through previously,
murdering somebody
with the automobile accident that he'd been through. Maybe you'd have better decisions. And I know when it comes to DUIs and shit like that, it's weird because you and I don't live that lifestyle.
Of course,
drinking, but
it's easy. It is very easy for you and I to sit on our high horses. Tamina. Our high horses. I said it again, and now it's in my head. And be like, oh, fucking idiots. But it's like, people they struggle, and this is an addiction. But it's also like,
the substance part and probably the depression and everything that comes with it. Like
that, I can understand.
He's holding on to that forever, and that's fucked up. That's horrible.
Yeah.
The logical part that you and I are going like, it's 2023. Get shit-faced all you want.
Right.
Call an Uber.
Yeah.
Call anybody else to show up and come get you. Call a taxi. Whatever. Don't drive your car.
Yeah. Obviously,
That's the part that's hard.
It's a simplification of issues, but also, you know, you and I we attempt to make each other laugh, and so we're gonna make fun of it. At the end of the day, he's a Hogan, and we have very little pity for these people.
Well, Hogan knows best, so maybe he's right after all.
Yeah. I mean, just be
Balea
thankful.
Blunders. That's the new show.
Just be thankful you don't live in Florida, that you're not on the same roads as him.
Well, Clearwater. I don't think I've ever been there yet.
I have. It's par for the course, I suppose.
So TMZ reported the son of Hulk Hogan was arrested around 4 a.m. on Saturday in Clearwater, Florida for suspicion of driving under the influence, a misdemeanor. Hogan allegedly refused to submit to a sobriety test before being arrested. Always thinking. Are you drunk? No. Prove it. No. Got you there.
Yeah. See, now, also because I'm still trying to clear up this confusion and kind of let people know how family dynamics work. As we've discovered, Bubba is indeed half brothers with Devon and the rest of the Dudleys. He is a brother-in-law to Nick Hogan.
Right.
So there's another sort of familial attachment here. So, just try to clear it up. Just let people know how the family works, the Hogan family dynamics.
And Nick Hogan is a part of a group called Asses and Eights, right, where they're making dumb decisions and going to get 8 DUIs.
And it's ATE, eights.
Yeah. Well, then that's a good thing now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've heard the kids.
No.
Like that's that 8 or that eats. Like it's
like a positive.
Yeah, it's a positive. I don't like it. I don't care for it. I'm fine for like that's fire. Oh shit, man. Have you seen that movie? That
makes
fire.
sense. Yeah, it's that eats. Like
I don't like it because it doesn't.
It's weird.
Doesn't work for me. Speaking of doesn't work for me, Jake, I have some very fucking sad news. You thought Nick Hogan was bad.
I do think Nick Hogan is bad. You're correct.
J.D. McDonough officially joins Judgment Day.
J.D. McDonough?
Formerly Jordan Devlin.
Oh.
The bug-eyed weirdo.
I mean, I like Jordan Devlin as a wrestler. Yeah, I like his in-ring stuff. I didn't like his character.
I know that one NXT show. This was the first impression when Finn Balor comes back.
Right.
And he's supposed to be like,
he's
oh my God, I can't believe it. And it's just like frozen frog face. There's just nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you've completely killed this moment. You've destroyed it and not made it significant at all. I don't know if he's gotten better since I haven't seen him. I'm not looking forward to seeing Judgment Day. This toad in it.
I mean, I just like his matches. Again, I don't think he's a great performer, and the character work was always subpar. But I don't like the name. What'd you say? J.D. McDonough?
J.D. McDonough.
J.D. McGonigal. Of Slytherin House. All right. I mean, he is the sort of
Judgment Day is so hot.
They are hot.
A good group.
And he is the sort of talent where if they're investing in him and they do like the way he works, he needs to be in a group that will help him figure out how to be a character. He was one of those people who did too much. He reminds me of, I know I always dog on or people get upset with me, but he reminds me of like the Ember Moon problem where I talked about Ember Moon was always doing way too much. I feel like when he was on, I know you're citing an instance where he did nothing, and that I don't recall. My memory of him was always tone it fucking down a little bit. Like you're trying too hard to do whatever this is.
In ring, probably.
Yeah, maybe that's where my brain goes. Yeah. But
I don't know if this group's going to be able to help him. I mean, look at Finn Balor and his struggles of WWE, where he's kind of breaking out now as being a heel and being more obnoxious and outlandish. But that took a long time.
Sure.
So Rhea's doing her own thing. Dominic's constantly coming into his own, but and then you've got the big dude, the
Priest.
Yeah, Damian Priest. That it's not on them to then go, all right, let's help you find a thing. Like they're all in their stride right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a bit of a burden for them.
Yeah. I felt the same way when Strowman joined the Wyatts, where I felt like this isn't going to help them or him. But, you know, at the end of the day, I do think that they helped him quite a bit. I think he hurt them, and that's what might happen here. I think Judgment Day is the best thing for Jordan Devlin, but Jordan Devlin or JD McGonigal is not the best thing for Judgment Day.
And we'll close out with this one. There's more stories to cover, but you can always check out our Discord if you want to be in the chat with more wrestling news stories. But this one is worth mentioning, especially for the holiday times. WWE and Rotunda family launched new Bray Wyatt merchandise collection. The collection will benefit Wyatt's 4 children. You can see all that on WWE Shop. It's called the Bray Wyatt Legacy Collection. There's new t-shirt designs. There's plaques. There's just different stuff there. There's one that looked pretty damn cool to me that I might snag. I haven't grabbed a wrestling t-shirt in quite some time. But
is it the one with him in the ring in front of the moon, the Lunar Moth logo? Because that was it's a really cool image where it's like him in front of the Titantron behind him and he's silhouetted.
Yeah, and he's silhouetted. It says "Let me in" below.
That's it's a cool looking photo. I wouldn't know that I would wear it as a t-shirt, but I like the image a lot.
Yeah, it's a really cool image. And on the back is the sort of Silence of the Lambs image,
right,
of the moth. It's upside down.
It's upside down,
but there's no obtrusive WWE stuff all over it. It doesn't say like Bray Wyatt's dead or any.
Jesus Christ!
It's just if you know, you know.
Right.
And otherwise, it's It could be whatever, but I like sometimes the mysteriousness of it where
I love
you don't need to know what it is.
That's my favorite. That's like every t-shirt design that I do for podcasts or my network or the network or anything. I mean, hell, the shirt I'm wearing right here. This is from our D&DW, but you wouldn't know that unless you knew what our D&DW show was. Like, this is the map from the world that we were on, but it's like, oh, it's also just kind of a cool shirt.
Mm-hmm. And when it's 20 Sided to Die, so someone immediately knows, like, that's a fucking nerd right there.
Well, it also just looks like a kind of an odd geometric thing, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that is available. That is there. So again, if you're looking for stuff for the holidays or if you're looking to support the Rotunda family.
Yeah, that's cool. There was definitely, even though the character we never got to see very unfortunately never got to see the resolve of the whole situation. They have the Uncle Howdy like replica mask, which is just so fucking cool looking. Clearly, like, it feels like it's inspiration from Scott Derrickson's like Black Phone and whatnot, but it's just like stuff like that. I think like, but grab one of those, put that on your shelf. That's like a fun, cool thing.
Jake, you should be wearing that at Thanksgiving.
Walk around being like, I'm Uncle Howdy, 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 howdy.
All right, well, I'd say that closes us out for the news then. Well,
that'll do it then. Thanks for all your hard work each and every news episode.
You're welcome,
Scott. I'm talking to you. I am talking to you. I want to say thank you for all the sleuthing, the news sleuthing that you do. I'm thankful for you for doing all of that manual labor on our news episodes. Having to go through all those god awful wrestling websites to find the few stories that we actually give a fuck about, because I know 90% of it is absolute garbage.
And then the other 90% is also like, some think this thing may happen.
Right, exactly. Well, we're going to go grab a hotline call or two. Scott and Arbor, say goodbye to the live stream.
Bye, live stream.
747-666-5606. That's the number of the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline. Or you can send a voice memo on your phone. Email that to hotline@pwpalskis.com. Scott and Arbor, let's see what the hotline has in store for us today.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. This is Spitz of Retribution. And I just wanted to call and let everybody know what I'm thankful for this holiday season. Honestly, first off, that WWE is so much better these days. I remember it was a couple of years ago when I called and just talked about how much this Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series broke me as far as terrible writing goes. You know, at least now it's War Games. War Games is more exciting, and there's a reason to it. It's two teams of people that don't like each other fighting, which is so much better than just my show is better than your show. But really what something I am thankful for is the amount of wrestling available on YouTube. If you're not aware, there's a ton out there. Ohio Valley Wrestling is one. Major League Wrestling is another. And the NWA have a show on YouTube. I'm sure there's also plenty of smaller promotions that have their own stuff going on out there. So yeah, you're going to find your next big stars on YouTube right now. Get out there and give it a watch. See if you find anything you like. Yeah, there's so much great wrestling out there right now. That is something I am thankful for. Have a good one, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Mass Llama, aka Spitz, thanks for the call. And yeah, that is definitely something to be thankful for. Like, it's so easy to watch a bunch of wrestling if you want to, where even just 10, 15 years ago, it was like, you got to tune in. You got to tune into the TV show that's available, or you have to like do your due diligence to attempt to find some shit somewhere, or like have a friend.
You got to order DVDs.
Yeah, you order DVDs.
Wait for them to ship.
Just like every indie company wants exposure, and so they're putting up entire matches on YouTube for free. There's a ton of matches that even the big promotions, and I'm including Impact in that, have just available on YouTube. Hell, we use YouTube a ton for our watch-along series because it's just like, yeah, they just happen to have this match free on YouTube.
I scout all the time. I search full match or full wrestling match on YouTube and see
the goodies,
stuff that pops up. And Impact has always been great about that. WWE is as well, but we don't utilize theirs just because
it's easier
to put it on the fucking network. But that's a great way for them to advertise and put it out there. I wish AEW utilized it because I feel like they're really missing out because of all the ad revenue and stuff that they could have from it. And now that, as you mentioned earlier, like they're a few years old now, so you're not really hurting yourselves if you're putting up year one matches anymore.
Right.
They're not available anywhere else. So let people see them. Let people see Darby in the beginning.
Right. Absolutely.
So like Mass Llama saying that you can start finding your next favorite person now by checking out all these other companies and seeing all this other stuff. And so you can be tracking them.
Yeah, I like it. And you know what else, Mass Llama? I'm thankful for you and all of our dedicated listeners to the Palski program. Thanks for calling in. I love that he said, a couple of years ago I called in. I love that we have that history, that people have been in it this long with us, just chatting wrestling and sharing all of our bullshit.
In the trenches.
Just in the trenches. Swords blazing. In the trenches. We are very thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for the amount of information that the community supplies me with. As you know, I haven't been watching a ton of wrestling. I feel like we've talked a lot throughout the course of this show and through history about how, like, you know, sometimes like your interest or even like your patience with wrestling kind of wanes and comes and goes. I think I'm really on sort of a downswing right now. As
You're
far
on
as
down Wayne.
I'm on a down Wayne. I'm on a down David Wayne. It's like a yoga move where you direct the movie 10. I love that the community allows me the benefit of still being able to be a little plugged in because of the Discord. I love our Discord so much. I haven't been on Twitter a ton lately, or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And so like I'm getting 90% of my wrestling just through our Discord and just people talking about the shows as they happen. I know like some shows people are in there live and they're hanging out with other people, chatting as the matches go on, and I can just kind of look and be like, oh, cool. And I can see what's happening. I can kind of have my finger on the pulse that way. I'm really thankful for our Palski community.
I am really thankful for this outlet that it keeps me involved in wrestling, keeps me still like as you say, like I am also on a David Wayne, the great movie 10 of interest right now in current wrestling.
Yeah.
I think it's just post Mania when the Cody thing happened and I went, oh man,
Was that you were
he didn't win.
Dejected a little bit. Yeah.
And seeing my nephews being dejected and they lost all interest from sitting on the edge of the seats and going like, oh my God, he's going to win. He lost. And, it was so fun to hang out with everybody in the box and have that atmosphere, but I'm just kind of checked out. Like even Full Gear at the time of this recording, Full Gear was in LA.
Yeah.
Yesterday. And I had a couple people reach out and go like, "Hey, you going to Full Gear?" And I go, "No." And even Warzeka going like, "Hey, what's your interest level?" Because sometimes we like a last minute, like, "Hey, do you want to just get together and watch the thing?" And I go, he had given a funny scale of like 1 to 14.
Right.
Describe like what the 14 was. And I said a 3. Like it's a 3 right now. Just because it's more the booking or just something presentationally about the show. And I just go like, I'm not in right now. And rather than just sit through and watch it all and go like, I'm not liking this, just hang back a little bit, wait for something to pick up, or you go like, oh, I'm into that. Like Sting's last match is going to be coming up. I know I'm going to be ramping up for that. And wanted to check out the clips and then start watching the shows again. And
the historical nature of it is going to be like, well, I want to see all of this for sure.
So I'm thankful for you, for the show, for the listeners, for still having this be a thing, because I'm not out of wrestling. Like I was just on a podcast it's a Superfans podcast.
Yeah, it's called Pro Wrestling Palskis. We do it every week, Scott and I were, oh, you're really losing it.
No, you're not a super fan.
I know. I couldn't
It's
get
not a WWE super fan podcast.
Couldn't get in there early enough. The delay, I was just like, fuck, he said super fan and ruined the whole goddamn thing.
So, and it was talking about that. And while talking about the stuff, I'm going like, yeah, I still love wrestling. And the watch along series is always the outlet for, oh, cool. Now we get to watch something else.
That's my favorite
of the past that is interesting. And I know during this time that you and I are kind of out, there are matches, like I have a couple pulled already that I go, well, I saw these or I heard about these and we're going to watch these. So there's always something cool going on.
There's some buzz. Yeah.
Gunther is not ever, there's never been a time where Gunther or Walter has been like, he kind of drags.
Right.
Like,
right. So
it is a constant of, did you see this Gunther match?
Right. Yeah. I hear that, a lot of that.
So there's always something, but I'm glad that this is still here. Cause if this wasn't around right now, if it wasn't doing the show or the show just wasn't here, I'd probably just be out.
Yeah. I'm right there.
Pop on the occasional DVD and just wouldn't be there.
I'm right there with you. I don't think that the WWE profile, the Palski profile that I made on Peacock just to watch wrestling, I don't think it would ever get clicked. Because, I didn't want to have it. I don't have WWE stuff clouding my Peacock profile. So I just made a separate one just for PWP and for watching.
You'd watch the occasional documentary you'd hear about.
You know what? You're not wrong. In fact, somebody posted the sit down interview with Taker, like a clip of it. And I was like, oh, this one little clip that I saw looked interesting. I was like, I want to see the rest of this. And so I asked the Discord, I was like, hey, somebody post this interview for me. And it came up in minutes. I think maybe Gil, thanks for that. I think it was Gil that posted it.
The Ariel Hawani interview.
I wasn't going to attempt to butcher his name, so I just ignored saying it altogether. And so, and I would watch stuff like that for sure. But
that's it. You wouldn't go like, you know what? Now I'm going to go watch a Bash at the Beach.
Well, you know what else we're thankful for? All of our current Patreon, Palski, Scott, and Arver.
That's right.
If you're not familiar with the Patreon, well, I'm begging you to go check it out. It's the best way to support the show. And man, you get so much for so little. I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. For how long?
Better than a titty bar. Think of how much you spend at a titty bar and how much you may not get. Like it may
better
be
than a titty bar. Jesus
it may
Christ,
not be a full nude. You may
trying to do.
It's maybe a topless, or you get a private dance and then they don't touch you or something like that.
Trying to do a classy show. Trying to do a classy hip show. Try to not work so obvious and blue. And then we got Texas over here bringing up titty bars and butt babies all the goddamn time.
Look, you go to a titty bar, you're bound to end up with a butt baby. And then that's more money spent. And you're like, they didn't even touch me. But you sat on a dirty toilet seat and you got a butt baby. So
all right.
I think the Patreon is the better way to go.
All right. Patreon.com/PWPalskis. For measly $5 a month to get access to all of the live streams that we do. I would love to increase how people hang out with us live next year. Scott and I were just talking about it. We need to be better at letting people know ahead of time when we're recording, but also sometimes it is kind of last minute. But in any case, keep an eye on a Discord or Twitter or wherever else we attempt to post stuff to let you know we're live. Joining us live for the shows is the best part of the show. That's my favorite part, is that we do this live. If we didn't do it live, it would be an eighth of the fun.
You, the listeners, are the constant run-ins.
Yeah, exactly.
You can Russo up our show constantly.
Yeah.
and just go like, this match is boring. I'm gonna fucking run in.
Literally for less than like a extra large fucking pumpkin spice latte or whatever the fuck you're drinking at Starbucks.
Or 2 for Tuesday lap dance special.
2 for Titty Bar Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So please consider becoming a patron. Obviously, there's more available as well. If you want to go a little bit more, you can get access to the entire Watch Along Wednesday series, the entire backlog. How many fucking years has it been at this point? 6 years?
There's all kinds of stuff. There's videos of the older crew, Dale and Johnny and myself running through WrestleMania.
Seriously.
Was it 35? The fucking one in New Jersey where it's raining and no one can get any cars. Like, I took like a Cloverfield documentary film of that.
I've said that you and TJ Miller are very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah, Johnny gets furious during that. You can watch that video. Like Dale and I in Japan. There's different videos throughout the years of stuff. Like Jake and I sitting down and talking like Balls Mahoney stories.
Yeah, there's the silly games. The tweet. What are they called? Peeps. The Peeps fucking game we played that was fucking idiotic and fun. There's so much shit there.
Didn't we do a taste test too?
All the JR's stuff. We went and got like some Mickey D's, I think, and we did some taste tests with some Mickey D's. I mean, there's
just countless things that you
kind
just
of
have
insane.
access to that we've done throughout the years.
It's kind of insane how much is available there for so little. So I'm begging you to consider checking out the Patreon. If you listen to the program, we see the numbers. The percentage of patrons to the percentage of listeners is minuscule, and I would really love to encourage more people to go check out the Patreon. You don't have to commit
or ask for it as a gift. Again, like if you don't want to do it for yourself, and you're one of those people that just buys whatever you want for Christmas, right? Like you bought your figures, you bought all the stuff, and then your loved ones are going like, well, I don't know what to get you. You fucking buy everything for yourself. Like, sign me up for Patreon.
I did look it up because I was curious to whether or not Patreon has something set up for gift giving, like to give Patreon accounts. They don't, unfortunately. So it's a little bit tough to do because they have to use all your emails and logins and credentials for you to access anything. But you can always just ask people to just PayPal you the whatever it is for the Patreon,
or just go like, here's my here's my email. And like, sign me up under this name.
Yep.
And then you go in and change it. Whatever. Like, there's ways around it.
Figure it out. So anyways, was that enough time for you to pull up the list, Scott, and get all the Palskis tapes?
What are you talking about? It's been here the whole time. I'm so organized
Because it's
today.
not like when I first said we need to thank our Patreon Palskis, you made a face at me like, oh, I'm not ready for that. That didn't happen.
I play poker every day, and I always win the chips.
Speaking of chips, you gonna do it? You gonna thank our current Patreon Palskis?
Oh, I thought this was gonna be like a Nick Hogan joke. Like he's not getting his chip anymore.
Oh no, Scott, that's below the belt. I didn't like that one.
Well, you're the one that brought up chips, and
I meant poker
I know
chips.
you don't know who Eric Estrada is.
You brought up chips. You literally brought up chips because you were talking about poker. You see how you fucking gaslight me on this show?
Me gaslight you? Come on, don't be a stupid piece of shit. Sometimes you're a real stupid piece of shit, and it seems like right now, kind of being like a stupid piece of shit.
All right, start with the letter A,
real quick, because we're talking Thanksgiving and just fun stuff. How great? Okay, you watch. I think you should leave, right?
Yes, okay. I'm all caught up. In fact, not that long ago, I watched the newest season and thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's for context for those who don't know, it's a Netflix sketch comedy show with Tim Robinson.
Yes. From the Detroiters and some other stuff that that he's fucking fantastic.
Saturday Night Live. It's very absurdist and really out there. But there's one sketch that has just been living in my head rent free that I love so much. Of the I used to be a real piece of shit.
Oh God, it's so good.
He's at a party and he's this character going around and there's a baby that's crying and he's just assuming the baby's crying because of him.
Right.
And he's going,
I know
that
why.
baby knows that I used to be a real piece of shit. I used to slick back my hair and just be a real piece of shit. And he just keeps saying it and then starts calling out other people like, yeah, you were probably a real piece of shit, but I'm not anymore. I used to be. I feel like there's old wrestlers now that could really benefit if they just started going around saying that. Like, just rip it off directly. Like if Hulk Hogan started going on interviews and stuff going like, hey brother, I used to be a real piece of shit.
I mean, it is a pretty bona fide way to save face right now for a lot of these guys.
Right?
Could you imagine Flair doing it and just getting all the lines wrong? I used to shit real big. It's like, no, Flair, God damn it.
I used to do real big shits.
I used to do-
Gross, dude.
Like,
No,
what?
I mean
That's-
like real big shits.
That's what the kids told me to say.
I just think I think that could help out a lot of old wrestlers right now. Show them that sketch and say, just go around and start saying this, will you?
I like it.
Thank you to each and every one of our active Patreon Palskis. The only place where you can get a retribution name and a maximum male model name. So thank you to AJ0314, aka Binary, aka Matrice69, Alex Pierce, aka Figs, aka Zitoys, Alice Raider, aka Invasion, aka Yves Joie, aka the current PWP champ, Andrew Beeler, aka Pollen Hate, aka Achu Detest, Curtis Mason, aka Hurtus, Gilbert Short, aka Goliathon, aka Batal Underoos, Mass Llama, aka Spitz, aka Jakara Lover, Michael Beltran, aka Limestone, aka La Naturelle, Miguel Diaz, aka Bipod, aka Too Much Husk, Mike Lucas, aka Hackensack, aka Luger Testicle, Suicide, aka Tim Bemis, aka War Trek, aka Tussle Quest, Tim Redbeard, aka Blood Fuzz, aka Blue de Fusée, Tom Hader, aka Cupid, and Tony Griggs, aka Big Griggs, aka Grand Grisois.
Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support of the program. We really appreciate it. Again, it is the thankful season, and I just want to say that we are tremendously thankful. Also want to direct everybody to the shop if you're also thankful and you want to give back. Best way to do that outside of the Patreon is to snag some merch. There's tons of really cool new designs and items in the shop. You can find the shop link at pwpalskis.com. We've got tons of fun t-shirt designs, all different colors and styles and vibes. We've got mugs that are really, really nice and classy and well made. We've got brand new hoodies. We've got phone cases for Samsung Galaxies as well as iPhones. They go back from to the iPhone 10, and I think a Galaxy S10, I think, is how far back they go. So you don't have to have the brand new phone to get a really awesome case. And there's some really cool designs in there, as well as some brand new ones that came out just for some of the new items. So please check out the shop.
The footy pajamas have been restocked.
God damn it.
They flew off the shelves and thought, oh, we're not going to get any more in time for the holidays. And coming soon, footy pajamas with trap door. So that's perfect. You don't have to take them off when you poop.
I hate this bit. But nonetheless, it continues. Nevertheless, he persisted. Thanks, everybody. We hope you have a great holiday season, and we will see you next week. It's always a blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis.
If you're enjoying this podcast or any podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon shop. You can tout your podcast pride while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. Make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com. Get your dragon swag on.
It's Dragon Wagon.